The Jca Sports Podcast is back alongside Jonathan Palayo, Johnny Blasphemy. I'm Jose Contreras, guys, and welcome to the Jca Sports Podcast, brought to you by Star 6 Media. Johnny, what you drinking there? What's that? I see an apple.
Yes, sir. This is my Angry Orchard, little green apple flavors. Fire.
Angry Orchard, sponsor us.
First of all, I'm a little hurt. I didn't get the Johnny Parlay name thrown out there. That's kind of
Johnny Blasphemy. Johnny Parlay,
thank you, sir.
Jonathan Palayo. If you guys don't know, if you guys need bets, if you guys are in need of money, hit up John because do be winning like it's nothing.
Hey man, I'm just gonna say y'all can pay y'all child support with my best lips.
Exactly. But welcome back, guys, to the Jca Sports Podcast, and what an episode we have for you guys this week. Eric Avila might not join us, but regardless of the fact, we will go on. With or without him, we hope he's doing good right now. Anyways, let's move on. Let's talk about, man.
Hey, Eric's making spaghetti. If it's the green Mexican spaghetti, I'm gonna slide for a plate.
Oh, dude.
But if it's regular spaghetti, then I don't trust Eric's spaghetti.
Eric is on daddy and boyfriend duties. You know what I mean? About damn time.
Oof.
No, I'm just playing.
Easy guy.
No, I'm just playing. I love Eric. Right? We got. He takes shots at me when I'm not here, so I have to return the favor.
He's that fast. Talk your smack.
You know, it's just sibling rivalry. Anyways, speaking of sibling rivalry, John, the White Sox are in the news for good and for not good reason. I don't know. It's
definitely good. It's definitely
good. But
it's surprising.
What a wave of emotions in 24 hours when you get a report that Jerry wants to sell a team, maybe even move the team, and then a day later you hear the firings of both Kenny Williams, the executive vice president, and general manager Rick Hahn both being fired. So I definitely want to ask you and everybody who's watching in the comments, if you're a White Sox fan, if you're not a White Sox fan, how have these last 48 hours been for you? Because me as a Cubs fan, you know what I mean? Where am I? Me as a Cubs fan, it's sitting on the sideline. It's interesting, but at the same time, I'm like, bro, I'm glad my team isn't going through it. So we're definitely want to ask you guys here on the Jca Sports Podcast, if you're a Chicago White Sox fan, what is going on in your head? And let's ask our Chicago White Sox fan, Jonathan Palayo. John, let's start off with the firing of both Kenny Williams and Rick Hahn. How do you feel today?
Man, it feels amazing. It definitely feels great. There's like a ray of sunshine, during this horrible series you've had against the Mariners. We're lucky we won today. And we went crazy too, just as crazy as like this news is so unexpected, bro. And it's like, here we are. We put so much blame on Jerry because we've lived through this with the Bulls. I hate to always bring it up, but he owns that team too. So like we've been through this, and he fired them. He went and cleaned house with the Bulls, and they're looking better despite the injuries that happen. We get into Bulls during Bulls season. Y'all know how we do it. But as far as the White Sox, it's a sign of hope, man. I really think it is. I would prefer a new owner, but I'm gonna cut him a little, just a little bit of slack because he did the right thing. There's some optimism going on despite I mean, because it just kind of seems like as a White Sox fan, like it's just one thing after another. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you got we'll get into it later, but you got the Eloy Jimenez interview. You have even what you said earlier, the report of Jerry might sell the team when the lease is up. Talking about I think moving to Nashville or something. No, but right now, the positive thing. Look, and I put it in our group chat. I put it in my group chat with my uncles. We all be with the Sox team together. Man, I wasn't gonna drink this week. But I had to go to the liquor store to celebrate this, man.
Well, yeah.
I had to. I'm off today. We just got rid of Rick and Kenny. I said, fuck it, man. Fuck it. I got to drink to this. So cheers to Jerry for that move.
And I think that's the biggest shock, right, is that the fact that Jerry Reinsdorf did this.
Yeah.
When we all know Jerry Reinsdorf is super loyal to his employees. Look how long it took for him to fire John Paxson when fans were literally yelling for it. They were begging for it, right? The Bulls, when they finally did fire John Paxson and they went over to our Carnesovas, that we seen that spark right away instantly when you bring in somebody new. So for them to finally do it, Kenny Williams has been with the team since 1992.
Yeah.
You think about that. You know what I mean?
It's crazy. He should have been gone. And then even when he lost his GM position, they still kept him in the organization.
Yeah.
Which is I don't remember no Sox fan being happy about that. You pretty much promoted the guy or shifted, and then now we're hearing reports that he was still playing the GM role.
Yep.
And it's like you could tell it's been frustrating because Rick Hahn has done some good moves. He's made his splashes in the last years, but ultimately it's like it's a business. What have you done for me lately? Did you win the division? Did you win the playoff series? Did you win a ALCS? Did you make it to the World Series? And it's been no ever since 2005. And here we are, bittersweet, where it's been like, what would Matt Nagy say? It's not a rebuild, it's a retool. Like that's what the Sox have been feeding us since 2005. You know what I mean? We'll have those years where we go out and spend some money in the offseason, then we'll trade guys within a year and a half later. We'll trade those same guys that we just acquired. We'll make a little bit of noise, and you know what it's been like. And I'm sure you've done it. I'm sure a lot of people have done it. It's like when you're in school and they have you write, or you got to do your homework, write a little 5-page essay, whatever, and they give it back to you, and they're like, okay, this is a good first draft with a bunch of marks on how to make it better, and like you pretty much don't do shit. You pretty much as your final paper, it's almost the same as the first draft. That's what the Sox have been doing to us, but that's what Kenny and Rick have been doing to us. But it really seems like with this move, Jerry just kind of took some heat off of himself. And he low-key, ultimately it is up to him whether he sells the team or not. No one can force him to. But he low-key took that little bit of heat off of him by making these moves, by making these firings.
But that's what makes it so interesting, because this literally happened the day after there was reports that he might move the team out of guarantee rate field. That's one thing. Moving from guarantee rate field, staying in Chicago, going somewhere else. But no, there was even reports that he might even take the team to Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Which was the biggest shock of them all. And literally the day after that, he fires both Kenny Williams.
But then there's the reports that he was going to possibly sell the team too.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And then reports of him even selling the team. So it's like, which one is it? There's so much going on. So this for sure solidifies change as far as the front office, as far as the team aspect goes, which is very much needed, right? Because the White Sox this season has been a dumpster fire. The last couple of seasons have been very disappointing because of injuries, because of coaching. Do you put much blame on Rick Hahn when there's reports out there saying that he didn't want Tony La Russa, but that was Jerry Reinsdorf's guy. He didn't want to trade Jake Berger even this season, but Kenny Williams overpowered him. So. Do you feel bad for someone like Rick Hahn, who is supposed to be the general manager, but couldn't do his job because his bosses are overpowering him?
Yeah. No, absolutely. I do feel bad for Rick Hahn. I've even seen reports that said that he wanted to leave the team.
Yeah.
But Jerry's like, no, like you signed a contract. Your contract's not up.
Right.
Whatever. There's different sides to every story. What's the phrase? There's three. His, hers, and the truth. In this case, it's his, Kenny's, and then the truth.
And then
got four sides to this story.
Right.
But as far as Rick Hahn, he does seem like the victim. This is all the reports are true. Then in a way, it's a blessing in disguise for him. He'll probably go and do some great stuff with the new organization. It might take him a while, it might not. Some might give him a chance, but it seems like Kenny's been a very toxic person, and I shouldn't even say toxic. Because we're talking about business, we're talking about literally.
Right. Well, the thing is, you're a product of your environment.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so if he's toxic, that's probably because the owners, the guys who are above him are toxic.
It falls on Jerry for keeping him so long and having that relationship. It's like, at some point Rick had to discuss it with Jerry. Like, dude, like I can't make no moves. Yeah, you know what I mean? Right. You and I have both been managers at stores, and like, it's like that. Like if I want to fire somebody or I want to hire somebody, but my boss above me is, ultimately making the ultimate move. Then it's like, well, what can I do? Here I am stuck in my position. Like,
what are you paying me
boss?
for?
Am I really in charge? Right, exactly.
Right. Where am I here?
And then if you go above your boss's boss and he backs up your boss, then it's like, okay,
exactly.
I'm just a puppet here.
Yeah, exactly. I'm literally just a fall guy. That's all I am. Yeah, and I feel like that's how Rick Hahn felt at the end. Like, I'm just a fall guy. But the thing is,
then at the end of the day, Rick has been able to keep his job and keep earning his check by firing managers after managers.
Yeah.
So it's like, I get it. It's his job. I'm not gonna. If I was Rick Hahn, I'm not gonna just quit because y'all not letting me make the moves with the team I want. If y'all gonna keep me here, but you guys call the shots, hey, I got a family to feed. You know what I mean? This is real life business. This is real life. And hey, we can blame the players. Go blame the coaching. Let's change coaches every 2 years, whatever. But as far as to be in Rick Hahn's shoes, if all that they're saying is true, it sucks, and that's pretty shitty. Like, you hire this guy to do his job, and you're showing him that like you don't trust them, and you're more loyal to Kenny. But it's like, okay, then why'd you fire them both? Is it just to please the fans?
Right.
Because this is fan service here. We talk about this all the time. We talk about our movies, our anime, our shows we watch. Jerry made a very fan service move to save his face. Whoever they bring in is probably gonna want a new coach because they're just gonna blame this season on the coach, on the new manager. And then realistically, like anybody you bring in, I think it's their right to want a new coach. You don't want to inherit the GM. It's just like like in other sports of football, you prefer to pick your quarterback. You don't want to inherit the guy who was drafted before me. You know what I mean?
Yep. I agree. I agree wholeheartedly, man. And as a White Sox fan, you got to feel relieved that there is going to be some change, at least as far as the team goes. You know what I mean? That's exactly what's needed in my book.
Yep.
You're going to get a fresh new face. Is there someone in particular that you're looking for? Is there someone that you think that's out there in the market that the White Sox should offer a lot of money to? Obviously, Theo Epstein is the biggest name out there, but do you think he would come to Chicago? He did it with the Cubs, but you think he would actually do it with the White Sox?
You know what? I thought of Theo at first, and I'm gonna just let's just poke at this idea a little bit. Let's play with it because other than that, I don't have an idea. I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't really thought about it. It just happened 24 hours ago, but it is great news. I don't think they should pay anybody like a ridiculous amount of money. I think I've spoken this before. We missed out opportunities on managers like Bruce Bochy, but now we're not even talking about a new manager. We're not yet. I'm pretty sure we will be. But if Theo were to take it on and he's gonna be that guy to bring a championship to both teams in Chicago, he'd be fucking legend, bro. He'd be legendary.
Real quick, right before Eric hops on real quick, right? He said it was a bad start to the show. I'm sorry, I'm not going. Hey, let's bring him in.
You just missed the excitement, bro, to get us pumped up. The shit talking has arrived.
I'm gonna text Laura. That spaghetti better be good to the point where you're late. You're how many minutes late? Like 15 minutes late to the show,
bro.
That spaghetti better be fire.
Bro, why
I burnt the spaghetti. How about that one?
Yeah.
Why are you wearing a hoodie? It's 100 degrees outside.
Man, my house is like 65 degrees. Chill. It's cold. I'm not outside. I'm inside my basement confined with the AC on. It's freezing in here. I even got my pajama bottoms on.
That you always have that. You go to the store.
I always do the show without pants, so if that makes you feel any better.
Anywho,
I
the
mean, I
shit
do it
talking has
outside.
arrived, ladies and gentlemen. I am here to talk all this shit. As you can see, I'm representing the best baseball team in the Chicagoland
Wait.
area. I'm
Soon
just
to be
kidding.
the only baseball team in the Chicagoland area.
Soon to be the only baseball team. You're right,
2029.
right? That's crazy.
Real quick
It is
before
crazy.
before Eric ruins the show, John. My next question to you, right? Because we're talking about the White Sox right now, was a report the day prior to Kenny Williams and Rick Hahn getting fired, was that the fact that this team might move to Nashville, Tennessee. So I got a lot of questions for you and all the Sox fans in the comments. If that were to
Yeah.
happen, this is the main question: would you remain a Sox fan? Would you move? Would you switch to root for a different team? Hell, would you stay loyal to your city of Chicago and now move to the beloved Cubs? What would you do?
I don't
What
want
would you
them.
all do if the White Sox do end up moving to Nashville?
You know what? If the White Sox move to Nashville, I'm still gonna be a White Sox fan. I will not jump ship to the NL Chicago team here. I have my NL team. Thank you very much. I will be ready to go to Nashville and rizz up any girls at the stadium. And my go-to line is gonna be, "You the only 10 I see in here." That's gonna be it. That's all. I'm not leaving my team, bro.
Are
I'm
you
not
from
leaving my
Nashville,
team.
Tennessee? Because you're the only 10 I see.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. Well, no, man. You can't
And you
jump
guys
ship
said
just
I
'cause
was
your
gonna
team
ruin
moves.
this damn show. This show's
You
already
can't
ruined right
jump
now
ship,
after all
bro.
this.
You can't. Go down.
Well,
Jeez.
I'm glad you did. I'm glad you said that. I was interested. I was like, I wonder if there'll be a lot of White Sox fans jumping ship.
It's
Because like I think at that point, can you really be mad at them? Like your team left the city. You can't really be mad if they want to stay loyal to their city of
nah, bro.
Chicago and go to the Cubs.
You can't jump to the Cubs though, man. I mean, you could jump to maybe another AL team nearby.
Like who though? The Twins? You've hated that
The
team how long?
Twins, the
But
Indians.
you
I
hated
mean,
that
but
team.
the same goes to the Cubs. You hated that team. I mean, are you loyal to a baseball team, or are you loyal to the city? You know what I mean?
Man, well, if you think about it, we're loyal to our teams because of the city. We didn't grow up cheering
Right.
for the Minnesota Twins or for the Milwaukee Brewers.
But there's
We
people
grew up
that
as
have and
Cubs or
don't
Sox
even
fans
live
because
in
they're
those cities.
Chicago.
But
You know what I
there's
mean?
people that are fans of teams from out of their state because they grew up raised loving that team and they don't live in the city. They're not loyal to the city.
That's
they're loyal
true.
to the team.
That's true
And
too.
the same applies here. Like if the Bears are leaving, we're supporting the Bears.
I'm not. No, I'm not. No, hell no. If the Bears
Hey,
leave,
that's you.
if the Bears leave Illinois, if they go to Arlington, I'm still a Bears fan. But if they go to, let's say, Alabama, I'm not a Bears fan anymore. Hell no.
You're zero, like zero fan base at all. Like you will still follow the team, but then have another team nearby that you like.
No, what? No,
You just cut ties with them like an ex. Just
if the owners take the Bears out of here, then yeah, I'm like, screw you. Then I'm gonna root for another team. If I had to cheer,
what if they go like next door to Iowa? You gonna follow them?
no, I ain't gonna follow to Iowa Bears. Hell no. For what? Just like how you have the Dodgers, right, in the NL.
Yeah.
I have the Chargers in football in the AFC.
Okay, so
I'm just gonna be a Chargers fan.
if you also have your second team, the Chargers, then why won't you still like the Bears wherever they are?
Because the Chargers didn't do me bogus, okay, and left me to fend for myself. That's why. It's more of a pride thing. You know what I mean? Look, as irrational as I sound, I'm okay with it, but it's my irrationality. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna ride with it. Eric, what about you?
What about me?
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
If the Cubs or the Bears left the city of Chicago, would you follow that team or would you jump ship and change to something else?
You're talking about just straight out of the state, right?
Yeah.
So like a Baltimore Ravens Colts into Indianapolis or Cleveland to Baltimore, whatever the case may
Yeah,
be.
like the Rams when they left
the Rams
St. Louis
from
going
St.
to Los
Louis
Angeles.
to
Josh Vasquez says once a Sox fan, always a Sox fan. So I get it. I do appreciate the loyalty.
Jordan said go Braves.
Jordan says go Braves or go Dodgers. So he's not following the team. And that's
I will give it a shot for the time being, just to see how it feels, how it looks, just to get used to it, I guess, and then I'll just base on it right there. Other than that, probably not, bro. I mean, right. It's weird.
It's a slap in the face.
It really is, and it depends. It's like it depends how they break up with you. You know what I mean? If it's like a salty breakup, then hell no, I'm not gonna follow them. I'm gonna just everything out of social media. However, I follow them, they're all going to be gone. They're all going to be blocked from life. All that stuff, But I will give it a chance, just an opportunity. Like, okay, it still has somewhat Chicago ties, but then once I see, however, it's like, yeah, it's not for me. I'll probably become a Colts fan or something since it's like right next door or whatever the case may be, or I'll just find another football team. Or wait for the other Chicago football team to come to Chicago and then wait for them. See how long that's going to take.
I wouldn't judge you, John, or any Sox fan in general if they switch over to the Cubs. Let's just say if the Sox do leave, I wouldn't judge you.
I would judge hard.
You're lying, bro. Y'all wouldn't put that on my grave.
No, I wouldn't. If it was slide, I'll be honest. If it was the complete opposite, I would switch over. I would probably be a Sox fan.
Can't do it. You can't do that.
I wouldn't. I would just completely stop watching baseball. It's like, oh, the World Series. Okay, cool.
Because that's the thing. I can't root for another baseball team. It's hard for me to root for another.
Neither can I. See, football is different. Football, I'll give it a shot simply because of everything that goes beyond money aspect and everything, and fantasy football wise.
That's true.
Baseball's long, guys. It's a long ass season, and just for me to get used to. I mean, for me to watch 90 games of the Cubs this year is kind of like a struggle, but like I'll still watch it. But that's because I have,
it's
I root for them. I love
them on regular TV.
Yeah. Right, and right, and I listen to on radio.
Pay for Marquee Sports now.
On 670, the score, baby.
No, the score, baby. I listen to Pat Hughes, but even then, it just after that, it's just no. I don't. If the Cubs leave, I won't cheer. I won't even cheer for the White Sox. I would just forget baseball even existed after that.
Bro, you can't jump ship, dude. You can't do that, bro. I get it. I mean, I get what you're saying because you like your city, you live in Chicago, but then it's like, but I was raised a fan of the team, not because of the city. It's just how I was raised. I follow the team. I mean, you brought the point earlier, the Rams. I mean, I'm sure people were pissed about it, but how many people that were Rams fans in St. Louis were celebrating that Rams Super Bowl?
Yeah, I guess you're right. That's true too.
I'm sure it's very bittersweet because it happened after they moved, but you really think folks are like, nah, man, fuck that Super Bowl, fuck that team that they moved out my city?
I'm sure a couple people were. I mean, how can you not? You know what I mean? It's like you're with a girl, she leaves you for another guy, and they get married, and you were gonna marry her. That's kind of like, damn. You know what I mean?
Upgraded on top of that, 6-pack model and everything, bro.
But you get what I'm saying?
Upgrade.
Upgrade and a half. See, that's the one thing about females, bro. Like when they break up with you and they leave you for better, never for worse.
That's not always true, bro. That's not always true.
Well, in some cases.
Yeah, it's not always true, Eric. It's not always true.
Maybe in your case, because you're Eric.
Yeah, I'm always the downgrade. Man, that's a fact. That's no lie there.
Eric, as long as you make her laugh, bro, you're good.
Yeah, right. My boy Jesus says, my boy Chewy says, I can never jump ship no matter what. Go Cubs. Exactly.
Like, Jose, if you jump ship because the Cubs move out of town and you're a Sox fan.
And that's if Jose does it, he already has the apparel, bro. He has the hoodie, he has the hat, bro. Like,
I don't have
nothing to him. That's why he says he has no problem with it.
That's
okay,
not true. That's not true. I'm just saying.
Is so true, bro.
I'm just saying. If they don't care about me, why would I care about them? If you guys want to get on me for them leaving me, come on.
Oh yeah. By the way, I know you guys were talking about Theo and stuff, but Theo will not come back to doing the GM stuff. He said he's happy in the position that he is, and the White Sox have already found their top contender or top candidate, and they're going to promote failing within, and they're going to use their scout manager as their GM for baseball operations.
Is it Chris Getz or something like that?
Something like that. Yep.
Yeah, Chris Getz, a former player.
Yep.
Come on, man. If you're gonna do that, if you're going to do that, you need to do what the Bears did and go outside the box.
It's such a Jerry move.
It really is. It really is.
So
but that's why. But Eric said that he would do it if the team is toxic. Imagine Jerry Reinsdorf, who's basically been saying "F you" to White Sox fans all these years and then leaves. That's BS, bro.
But listen, if Jerry's really planning to move the team when the lease is up, then it's like, this is just a fill-in guy. Fuck it.
It really is.
It really is.
If those reports are true.
So is Pedro
It's
Grifol.
And then
it's bound to ask the question like, what are we going to see? The Bears in Arlington Heights or the Chicago White Sox in a different city? Like that's what's going to come first.
Man, who's going to be on the field, bro? It's just, no, because you guys saw a lot of people still are saying like, hey, man, even the players aren't safe. They're going to clean house with the players too.
They have to. That's the only way.
But you need to. There's nothing wrong with that. You need to clean
you-
house. You keep Luis Robert and Dylan Cease. Everybody else can go, bro.
Nah,
Why are
you
mad?
let everybody go.
No,
Bye.
You keep.
Bro. You let everybody
Robert.
go.
Robert's
gotta go.
untouchable.
I'm sorry.
Robert's untouchable.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
No.
Robert,
In this instance, there's no untouchable, guys. No. You guys are looking at this very wrong.
Eric.
No,
Robert is that guy.
Okay. Mind you, he's 25. How long is it going to take you to rebuild this team? And it's the White Sox. They don't know how to rebuild properly, so it's going to take even longer than usual.
But
you're going to waste the guy's prime years for what?
But you can't.
You're going to waste Dylan Cease's prime years for what?
But you, as a Cubs fan, has seen it that way. If you're a Sox fan,
look what it brought us.
But if you're a Sox fan, or as somebody who actually works in the Sox organization, you're not looking at it that way. You're looking at it as someone. He is the vital key piece to build around. That's how you got to see it.
But at that point that you're saying, the vital key piece. But yet it's going to take you 3, 4, 5 years to bring in all the pieces together. By then, he's already going to be on the wrong side of 30.
Okay, and if you trade him, then you're looking at another 5 or 6 years. So
you're starting over from scratch, where you could find your players that you could build around from that start and literally start from point blank. There is nothing wrong with that. That is literally the smartest way to do.
It's already that you can keep.
But you're gonna waste. You're wasting valuable. And this was my argument in the group chat that we had earlier. You're wasting valuable assets from those players if you don't trade Luis Robert and you don't trade Dylan Cease, because it's easy for baseball players to lose their value within a year. Look at Tim Anderson. Tim Anderson a year or two ago would probably been, if you were to trade him away, you probably would have gotten 2 out of the top 5 prospects in some farm system. Right now, you're lucky enough to get something for him. I mean, you're going to get something, but it's not going to be as high as a value. If you're going to wait and sit on. This is the Bulls mantra. If you're going to sit on your assets and not really build fundamentally around them, then you're losing value for them to build your team for the future. So if you're literally going to start scratch from getting a new GM, getting a new player or getting whatever the case may be, cleaning house, you clean house all the way, because the toxicity in that locker room starts and came with the players that are there now, that Rick Hahn and Ricky Williams both came in and brought into the system, along with the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever managerial changes that they had. Nothing would really work until you blow it all up. And I get it. I get it. He's young, 5'2" player, this, and that, all this. But the dude, give me that if he's 22. That's more time than usual. He's 25. You have at least a good 5, maybe 6 years of your prime. And by then, of his prime, for you to build up in this team that might take a little while than usual. So why keep him and get a better haul than keeping him and just see if you could build around him? If you're just gonna start from scratch, blow it all up, dude. There's no point of keeping them if you're gonna waste their valuable years.
Look, first of all, Tim Anderson, I'm not giving up on him off for one bad year.
He's gone. He has to be. He's part of the problem.
He's not. He's not part of the problem. The problem is.
Yes.
Bro, there's reports out there that he's also part of the problem, guys.
He's part
of the problem.
Earlier when you guys
part of the problem.
Here's the thing. Earlier when you guys were talking about, don't put blame on any of the players. You got to put some blame on the players. They're the ones who.
Not all of it.
But I get that. But here's the thing. Like, as far as the leadership goes, there was no leadership at all in the locker room. There was no leadership coming from the coaches. There was no leadership coming from the GM and from the and from the guy that hires us. We all know this.
Right.
But if you're a player, like John, you played baseball, right?
Right.
If you going into a team, if you know there's no leadership, wouldn't you feel it in your heart? Hey, maybe I need to step up. Maybe I need to be more vocal. Maybe no.
Why? No, this is what I put in the chat. If my coach isn't getting on top of my teammates that are slacking off, why should I? I'm gonna just show up, do my job. I know I'm gonna start. Hey, if I'm late, I ain't gonna miss a game. But I mean, I get it. It's bad mentality, but I'll tell you what. This is why I think we should trade everybody. Bring in the right coach. Bring in, the right GM, the right manager that's going to get on our asses, make us accountable. And players that love to play are gonna shape up and play for that guy.
But it's already too late for that,
If
John.
you don't, it's not too late for that. He
Well,
just
well,
said,
well.
what he
Hold
said,
on,
he's
hold
gonna
on.
go 25,
No,
26,
but
27.
it
But it's
doesn't
not
matter
too
if it's
late
late
for
or
that.
not. It doesn't matter
It's not
if it's
too
late
late
or
for
not.
that. At least give it a shot.
Right.
Let the new managers, new management that comes in, then let them decide. I want to clean house and get rid of everybody, or you know what? I can fix that guy. I could fix that guy. I mean, you guys have been store managers. Do you automatically
Right.
just come in and want a clean slate? I want a brand new team, or do
No,
you be like,
no,
you know
you
what?
gotta
That guy has
evaluate.
potential.
Right, you gotta evaluate
We're
the team first before.
exactly.
But the thing is, I felt like leadership left with Jose Abreu when he left to go to
And
Houston.
I said that last time.
That's it. No, because you weren't hearing reports like this in past years because he
Even
had that
Ricky
locker
was
room.
there.
Right, he had that locker room on point. I mean, Jose Abreu was that clubhouse leader. As soon as he left, nobody stepped up, and that's where the issue lies with me.
And then there's also reports that a lot of people were upset with a lot of the White Sox players were upset with Tony La Russa replacing Ricky. So I mean that right there is like the players don't respect the GMs,
Right.
their manager. You guys just got rid of who they don't respect, who they pretty much hate. So yes, they've been acting like spoiled brats. They're grown men at the end of the day, making millions. They should act better. But I mean, you asked me earlier, would I want to step up and be a leader in a clubhouse? Like, no, I don't get paid for that. I get paid to play. I'm gonna pay regardless because I'm here. But if you bring in somebody that's gonna put a fire under their ass, then hey, if I like to play, if I want to still be here, I'm gonna fix myself. If not, okay, then if you trade me, it's low key what I want. It's a blessing in disguise. But I think you need to bring in somebody and let him evaluate what he has because there's talent on this team. There's absolutely talent that still is young enough to shape up. It ain't like what's the name from David Justice in a Moneyball movie where he's all cocky to Brad Pitt. He's like, you're paying me, the most money on the team. He's like, no, man, the Yankees are paying half your salary. They're paying you to play against us. He's like, I want to milk the last ounce of baseball in you. And it's like, that's not how it is here. These guys are still young enough. They still got probably another 10 years each where it's like, all right, do you want to play? Do you want to play here? Because if not, hey, we've seen what we had out of you. If you're not going to change, we're still in this beginning of this rebuild. We can ship you out for whatever Eric says, like a little third round pick, or if we could have got a top prospect for you before, like, hey, that's fine with us. We'll give it to you now.
Well, they're gonna have to do something because, like you said, this rebuild started when they started trading away Jake Berger, Lance Lynn, Lucas Giolito, you name it. Now that they're gone, this rebuild has started. Especially now that you just fired your GM and your VP. They need to get someone in here fast, evaluate this team, and literally turn it around. Whether he's moving or not, the organization's still gonna be here, still gonna do its thing. So, you know,
To hop on John's point, and I get that 100%. If the report says that we're getting somebody outside of the White Sox organization, if it's the within promoting with stuff in with this guy from the minors, that's the scout as the GM, and then that's about it. It's basically writing the same script and just a different wordings. That's basically what it is.
different font,
Different
different
new
font.
instead of New Times Roman, it's now whatever the other one
Now
is, bro.
scripted or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nothing is really going to change until you legit clean house with a whole new different things. And maybe this is part of Jerry's master plan after all. He hears everybody complaining about Ricky and Rick Hahn and Williams and whatnot, and Kenny Williams. And he did what the fans wanted to do a long time ago. But Jerry still is doing a Jerry thing and then promoting within and a failed organization that's been failing for years. And nothing's really going to happen. Pedro Grifal's still going to be there to be the manager next year. Nothing's really going to change. That's why I say that if you're going to rebuild it to the studs, even take out the studs, rebuild new studs. All you got to do is just, 16 inches, per stud. Just do it like that. Rebuild this whole organization from the top ground. 87 years old. That's how old Jerry Reinsdorf is. 87 years old. He doesn't have that much time with him. If he could last 6 years, if his final nail in the coffin is moving the Chicago White Sox to Nashville, then guess what? Jerry Reinsdorf at the end of the day stole from all the Chicago White Sox fans and possibly even the Chicago Bulls.
Listen, real quick, I do want to say I get what we're saying. It's a typical Jerry move to promote within. I mean, people are like Chris Getz, like, you know, the guy that played for us, you know, the guy that, I mean, he made it to professional, credit due, but it's like, you know, he wasn't that guy, you know, he wasn't that guy. So it's like, do you really want that guy as your GM? But I have seen praise to him that he's better, you know, in I think he's in charge of the minor league. He does something in the minor leagues right now. I can't think of the title, but I've seen it. My point is that I think we can't cut him off right away. Maybe he is a better GM than he was a player. You know, maybe just relates to the players more. And then ultimately, there's also Jerry might just be playing chess, and he's like, "Yo, I don't give a fuck because I'm moving this team when the lease is up." He's not gonna go out and say it. There's that too. But Eric brought up Pedro being the manager next year, and that's absolutely true. Like, you know, we hear all these reports of how the players are acting, and yes, you know, it is something to celebrate that Kenny Williams and Rick Hahn are gone. But it's like, as a manager, bro, like, you really got the clubhouse acting like that? Like, what are you doing?
No, right, exactly.
What are you doing? So it's like,
what are you doing?
As a Sox fan, Jerry, don't stop there. I'm sorry, Pedro. 1 year and you're done, dude. You know, and I hope if it is Chris Getz, and hopefully he gets in Jerry's ear, like, hey, man, I want a new manager. If we're going to keep the players, I want a new manager because you bring that guy back, the players don't respect that manager.
Nope.
Hell no, they don't. There's not going to be a leader next year. And, yes, we can blame the players all we want, but, again, as a manager, you're brought in, like, dude, you're not.
At the very least, you got to hold your guys accountable. You got to demand respect from your players,
least, dude.
Yeah.
At the very least, Pedro should be fired before you blow up the team. Give me that first. Bring me a new manager with the new GM, then decide to completely blow up the team.
The only thing about that, John, the only thing about that is by doing so, you got to commit to that new manager. You got to make sure whoever you bring in, you know, this isn't a Dale Swayam. You know what I'm saying, right? Or who was it? Or was it Rick Renteria? Who was the Cubs manager before Joe Madden? Was it Swayam or was it Rick Renteria? It was Renteria, right? And Swayam was before him. Don't do to whoever you bring in like you did to Renteria, where you just like, okay, you're a filling guy, and now we're gonna move on. Once we have this team established, we're gonna move on to a more established coach. Get your guy in. Go through the motions with him, kind of what the Cubs did with David Ross, right? People were back and forth with David Ross, fire him. Now everybody's like, oh, you know what, keep him, right? But
everybody's fake.
Right, because they go based off results. But that's what I'm saying. Bring in a guy that you want and go through the motions with him.
Bro, bring in the right coach, and he could put a fire under their ass.
Right? Yeah, absolutely.
He definitely could. I mean, and as you guys being on as athletes, as managers, you know, just life in general, like you put the right leadership in front of, you know, these younger guys. You know, you can get somebody to do their job for you, and if you don't, then hey, this is a business. Then you're gonna, hey, bro, you're gonna lose your job because you're not doing what you're getting paid to do. But you definitely cannot bring Pedro back next year. This team, this clubhouse, this team, they got no respect for him. It's not going to come back. No matter who you hire to replace Kenny and Rick Hahn, the respect for Pedro is not coming back. Because, I mean, think about it. If even let's say this season ends, he comes back after winning meetings, you know, spring training starts, and he wants to act like, oh, new year, new me. You know, I'm this hard ass coach. I'm gonna work you to death. You know, you're gonna do this. Like, as a player, I'm gonna be like, the fuck? You're not gonna tell me what to do. Like, you not remember last year? Like, I know who you are. This voice, you know, this tough voice you got, this fucking new workout routine, game plan. Like, bro, get the fuck out of my face with that, dude. Like, you're not gonna replace me. I'm gonna play because there's no respect for him.
Yeah, there isn't. There really is no respect, and it's
just a quick nugget, guys. So, as you guys were talking, I was listening to you guys. I was actually looking, you know, the rankings of the minor league system within the last 10 years for each organizations. The White Sox has only been in the top 10 only twice, and that was in 2019 and 18.
Yeah, but that's not,
after that, they barely cracked the top 20.
Right, but that's not surprising because if they did
called up the talents.
Right,
but that's your new GM because that's actually under the guy that actually got hired. So
okay, but also if you have guys like Kenny and Rick Hahn pulling up our prospects right away, you can't get mad at the minor league GM for that. You guys are taking my best players. You're calling them up.
Calling them up right away.
And it's their job to replace those players in the minor league system.
Yep. In the draft.
And we just keep finding out that fucking Kenny wanted to have his hands in everything.
Right. I was just gonna say that if Kenny wants his hands in the GM job, what makes you think he's not gonna do the same to the scouts? You know what I mean? Like, oh, you like this player? Yeah, but I like him better. So let's bring him.
Oh, you like him? Okay, I'm gonna call him up. Yeah, whatever. You could get whoever. I don't care. I got the superstar on the big league level now.
Right. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. So like they didn't do Chris Getz any service. You know, they did him a disservice basically, and I understand it fully. So, but I do agree with Eric in some point as far as like I would preferably, if I was a Sox fan, want them to go somewhere else and get someone who's established, someone who's done this job before. I mean, that's what the Cubs did with Theo Epstein, and it was a long process, but he got a championship on a team that had a 108-year drought. That is something the White Sox need to do. That you need someone with credibility who's done this before, not someone who's brand new. I mean, like look at the Bears. It took him how long to get finally maybe a GM who who's gonna do it from scratch, right? You know, Ryan Pace was the guy who everyone thought was gonna be this next new hot shot, and it didn't work out for him. Right now they have Ryan Poles, same thing, next new hot shot guy, and the word is still out on him. We need to see what he does with the Bears. Now the White Sox are essentially gonna do the same thing with Chris Getz. I don't know if that's always the best move. The Bulls at least got Carnage Sovas, who had a track record in Denver, which, by the way, that team that he helped construct just won a championship. So I at least feel somewhat, good knowing that he is steering the ship in a way. I don't know if you're a White Sox fan, you feel that same comfort. But that's why I do agree with Eric is what he's saying. But it's Jerry's world, guys, and we're just living.
No, I agree, Jose. It is that feeling of like me personally, like I said earlier, I still can't help but feel like Jerry still owns his team. He's gonna do whatever he wants. He's gonna call the strings. Things aren't gonna get better till he sells the team, and in his back pocket, he might just still have, I'm gonna move the team. You can't trust it. You can't trust anything.
Juice.
The juice.
Would I feel better if we brought in somebody from a winning organization? Absolutely. But I'm not gonna knock Chris Getz, but I still think Jerry's job's not done. You got to get rid of Pedro first.
It's definitely going to be interesting this next year or so. We'll see what happens. We'll be covering what happens with the White Sox. We'll be
That's what's going to be the winner, bro.
Definitely. We'll definitely be there for you, John. A shoulder to cry on.
I won't. Don't lean on me for any support.
We'll talk
bro,
shit behind your back. Don't worry.
No.
I won't laugh at your face. I'll laugh behind your back.
I had no sympathy. Nothing coming from my end. I'm letting you know right now.
Well, no, I'm kidding. I wouldn't laugh.
Hey, I got a quick question, Eric. Were you really going to serve us spaghetti for dinner if we went over?
I hope.
Yeah, bro. The hell?
That
was the thing, man.
Here's a recommendation for you guys. Here's a recommendation. There's this really good Mexican restaurant in East Chicago, Indiana, called El Paso Grill.
Nah, ass. I already tried it. Sorry.
BS.
I ordered chata's ass.
BS.
La Hacienda's better.
Nah, bro. I'm telling you, the place is fire. The place is fire. I don't believe. I wouldn't believe Eric. There's recommendations.
Trust me, I am like the most pickiest person when it comes to Mexican restaurants, bro. And if the horchata doesn't smack, their food is not gonna smack. That's how I judge them.
That's not true.
That is so true.
That is true.
That's true, bro. You cannot go to a Mexican restaurant and you have horchata that tastes like ass.
Even like when you go out and you stop off at La Garra, if the agua de horchata is good, then you can eat the tacos.
Hell yeah, bro. That's literally how you gotta do it.
You're not gonna eat there.
To be fair, I haven't tried the agua de horchata. I've only
you can't trust your
I'm just saying. I haven't had the agua de horchata. But I have had their tortas and they're fire.
Side story to that one. Have you guys been to that Riviera Maya that's right there on Indianapolis Boulevard?
Yeah, I've been there.
No, actually, I haven't.
That place is so I was so disappointed with that place. I stopped going to that place because one of the waitress it said Al Pastor instead of Al Pastor, and after that, my whole night was ruined, bro. I wanted to leave without paying. Like you cannot work at a Mexican restaurant and say Al Pastor. Like no, you can, and you have your nopal is bigger than my fucking nopal on my forehead, bro. You cannot do that. Like that is no.
Hey, if she's decent, she can get away with it.
Look, all right. Well, hold on. Then you give me what's a good Mexican restaurant that Eric thinks is fire. If the horchata has to be fire, then.
Ooh, yes, is pretty good.
There's two. Well, obviously, when we went to What's that one place that we went to, El Asador, for the
Oh my
quesadillas?
god, those were fire. Okay, I
Exactly.
admit that was good as fuck.
Okay,
That
I
place
wasn't
was
that's
good.
the
invited.
one.
That place was good.
The other recommendation.
We invited you, John. I think
We
you
did
said you
invite
told
you,
us. Yeah,
John.
we invited you that
We
day.
invited you, bro.
That was
Probably
like a
invited
year
me.
ago.
And
Yeah,
then
but
the other
microwave.
one, I
Like a
see.
year or two ago.
I tried the agua horchata there. I haven't tried their Mexican food, but it's all the way up in what is it, in Skokie? It's called the Mean Wiener, bro. That was surprisingly, the agua horchata was fucking delicious. But I haven't tried their Mexican food yet, so it must be fire.
Yeah,
Go to La Cienega. They got a little kitchen in the back. Go to my.
I don't trust that. It's a Cienega, bro. I don't trust that one. I'd rather go
Go
to San Fran right there on 160
Yeah,
Newman before.
they're pretty good. They're pretty
Yeah,
good.
I'd rather go there.
I
Look,
mean,
we're giving
you guys,
we're giving these restaurants fucking
you
free
guys,
promotion.
right?
We ain't
You
getting
guys,
shit
you
off
guys,
of it.
you guys tried Raymond's Tacos and over there and
Absolutely. I've
Yeah,
tried
we
it
did.
sober
You
and I've
took
tried
us
it
there.
super drunk.
yeah, it was fire. That's my
It
favorite
was
taco
fucking
place.
ass.
No, it's
I'm
not.
not gonna lie.
That's BS,
It
bro.
was disgusting. I'm not gonna
Eric,
lie.
Eric, don't listen to Eric, guys. Raymond's Tacos on Blue Island Avenue is
Chatos I've heard is good.
one of the
Chatos,
best.
I heard, is good.
Where's
I haven't heard-
James?
This
I haven't
When's
heard
he
is
leaving?
Justin Taylor or Jonathan Taylor.
Just
running back.
Okay.
Colts.
Oh, we were just talking about this. Would if as a Bears fan, would you entertain it?
Would you
I
what?
would. Would you entertain the Bears training for Jonathan Taylor?
What's the price? I think isn't he looking for like a second round pick?
But you have
Second round
like
pick.
30 running backs and 30 tight ends.
Yeah,
I
that's
feel
what
like
I'm
But you,
And-
but
and I
you
think
can give
Ryan
him a
Post-
running back, a tight end, and a second round pick.
Yeah, but
you could give him 3 tight ends and you'll still have a plenty, bro.
True.
Be honest.
And I think Ryan Post did say it one time. I'm not sure if he said it publicly or in an article. I'm not 100% sure, but I remember him saying or hearing or reading that he doesn't value running backs that high up. So you're not going to get top market for him.
I was
So
gonna say I feel bad for
But-
running backs, man. You can't.
In general, the league is bad, but think about it. I think it would help Justin Fields a lot if you bring in a star running back. Because right now, Justin Fields is our best runner. I don't want to call him a running back.
Well, let's see. Let's.
I'll give
I
it
want
a
to give.
chance first.
I want to give Khalil
But
Herbert a
Justin-
chance because I feel like he might be a good solid backup.
He's going to be solid, but Justin Fields is going to have more rushing yards than Khalil Herbert. Book it now.
But not by design. I think if that happens, that's more of an offensive line issue or of a coverage issue, and I feel like then I mean, kind of like last year. Last year he was the best. He was their best runner because they couldn't protect him. He had to
We
run.
got a better line this year.
Yeah, but they're
Well,
injured.
But-
especially with all these injuries that happened, though. I don't know
Right, they're
how
injured.
healthy this line's
But
going
now
to be.
that you see what Fields could do, there's going to be more plays designed for him to run. He's going to get that. I mean, I look at it as Justin Fields is part of a running back committee for the Bears.
and that's well. Look, if it works, right? If it ain't
I mean,
broken, why fix it?
It works in Baltimore. The best running back on the team is Lamar Jackson.
That's facts.
That is
Big
facts.
fact. And yeah.
So if you bring in a superstar running back here, because Jonathan Taylor is a superstar running back, we've seen it. I definitely think it would help Fields' career longevity wise. And I mean,
Yeah, but then
why
you got to
wouldn't
pay Jonathan Taylor big money after this year, though.
we have the
because
cap space. We have the trade capital that they want.
Yeah, but
Why
you
not?
still have
Why not
holes,
invest
especially on
in
the-
you
a-
still have holes.
Especially on
why
the
not
defensive
invest in a
side.
superstar running back.
I don't know, man.
And if the Bears do pretty solid in drafting defensively, so I take that gamble. Unless you just want to wait till you move to Arlington and then, hey, maybe we'll just blow up the whole team and start this all over.
Don't say that, but no. Oh well, it's difficult, right? Because you want to have a season where it's just like, okay, cool, like you just said, let Jonathan Taylor beat the Saquon to Daniel Jones for my season, right? You want to save him, you want to give him that longevity, the legs, let him be that rumble tumble guy, right? But Jonathan Taylor's not Saquon though. Like Saquon could do it because dude's built like a damn wrecking ball, like a damn bowling ball, like whatever name you want to give him. That's how Saquon is built. That dude could run through walls and be okay with it. Jonathan Taylor though, I don't know if he's that same typical player though.
Eric, so would you wait a year and pay Saquon to come here?
I don't think that's in Ryan Pose's MO to pay a running back,
I'm not
right?
asking. Don't think like Pose. Think like you, as a Bears fan. Okay, if you don't want
how old
Jonathan
is Saquon?
Taylor this
Here's the
year,
questions.
if
There's a
Saquon's
lot
a
of
free agent,
tread in that.
hopping on,
There's a lot of running back miles on that car per se for Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
Plus,
Yeah,
remember, Saquon's Barkley,
he
when he
used.
played here in Chicago, he tore his ACL. Maybe he played afterwards. I'm not 100% sure. But the last time I remember
Oh, I
Saquon
remember.
against the Bears or with the
I
Bears or
had
at
him in
Soldier Field, he
fantasy
tore
that
his
year.
ACL.
I remember. My fantasy team remembers that one.
So it's one of those. He's older now, 2 years, 3 years removed from the ACL injury. You gotta have to pay him, and when you pay running backs that deep into their careers, it doesn't really pan out as well. Um, Hesitant, I guess you could say, but if you were to tell me if I would, 51-49 leaning towards yes, 51.
Hmm.
That's just slightly.
Okay. Okay.
Interesting, very interesting.
Well,
So
luckily you're not polls, so.
Yeah,
yeah,
luckily I'm not posed. I
thank
don't have to make
God.
that decision.
And we're all could just be talking, and polls, like you said, doesn't value running backs like that. He don't want to pay running backs, nor does nobody else.
I mean that's the trend of that's going around the NFL. That
Then
They
again,
saw
running backs
Le'Veon.
are a dime a
but then,
dozen.
but then again, I I would have mind him being false last year when he wanted to keep Roquan Smith because, you know, I'm low key kind of regretting moving him. So
Nah, I don't regret it.
I think you kind of upgraded. You got two out of that one. You got two out of Roquan. Like
It was
you
the right
replaced
move.
one linebacker with two and two capable linebackers to do what
yeah,
Roquan
but
did,
it's I
and
don't know.
plus and then some.
I don't know. I just feel like Roquan is just above them in a bit. So that's
Well,
just
maybe
me.
because you just fell in love with him, and that's the recency bias of him being in a Bears uniform before and
I don't
everything
know,
like
man.
that.
But he was good. He was
But he was a
even
beast. I'll give you that. I was the
even
one
in
that was upset
Baltimore
when they traded him.
after we traded him, he was even beast. So I feel like it's gonna continue.
No, yeah, like I said, I was the one. I was the one that was upset when they traded Roquan Smith about the defense and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I get where you're coming from. But it's what you do next. And Ryan Poles made his moves on what he did next and replaced Roquan Smith
Well, let's
with
see.
two quality
We'll see. Well, hold on.
linebackers
We're gonna
that could
find out
probably
if
hold up to par.
we're gonna find out the quality this year for sure. I'm still a little sus on this defense, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like there's still some holes that need to be filled. So we'll see.
We're still winning the division, so I don't care.
Still
I don't
winning
know.
the division.
I don't know. I'm not
I
picking
think
them to win
with Yannick Ngakwe coming in, it helps you solidify the defensive rushing efforts. I think everybody gets a tad bit better from him being inside the defensive line. Obviously, the linebackers get a little better, and obviously the secondary gets better too as well. Remember, if you get to the quarterback, your secondary looks good too as well. So getting him to rush the quarterback, you make everybody around that team a little bit better. That's what having a pass rusher does is that you make everybody next to you, left or right and behind, a lot more better. Getting Yannick Ngakwe coming into Chicago, so the defense, and they were saying that the defense is good throughout all the training camp and even the games. So um,
Side
they
note.
can hold their part. They can hold their part, and I'm excited about this defense.
Side note. Why the fuck are people picking the Packers to have better records? And I'm talking about I'm talking about people in the media industry. Why are they picking the Packers to win so many games,
Explain it
to
though.
have
Is
a
it
better record than the Bears? I
I'm
don't
saying.
see it. I don't fucking see it, and it's fucking annoying.
is it
There's
is it is it media regional or media national?
both. I see it in both.
Where did you
Even
see it
Vegas
regional?
odds. We just talked about this. Vegas odds has them having a better
Yeah,
record.
dude. The Vegas has them. I see it in ESPN. I see it in all these fucking articles I'm reading. I'm like, why the hell do they think the Packers are going to be better than the Bears this year? I don't fucking see it, and it's annoying.
The
Unless,
way I
unless
could,
they know something we don't, and if they do, I'm pissed
I
because
think
I'm
I
not
think
going through this again.
from the national standpoint, you got to kind of look at it in a bigger picture, right? And I think this is where we kind of have to take off our Bears goggles and our Bears hands and glasses, or whatever the case may be, and actually look at it in a bigger step. The Bears were the worst team last year in football. Yes, the Bears upgraded in certain positions where they needed to be upgraded, right? And yes, although the Packers had an off year, and yes, the Packers did lose
Aaron
the Hall of
Rodgers.
Famer of Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers as their quarterback, it's kind of still the same team. You still got Christian Watson up there. The defense is still as solid as last year when it's healthy. It's a top 10 defense when healthy. So I think they just look into overall. And if Jordan Love can just do the simple things compared to what the Bears have to do and just literally revamping with new weapons, obviously just DJ Moore, new offensive line, new defensive players coming in, like it's basically a brand new open card project. compared to what's already built in there. And the driver, all he has to do is just keep it at cruise control on the highway. I know that's a bad analogy, but that's basically what Jordan Love has to do. He just kind of has to keep it at cruise control and not make the dumb errors. And that's why, to the media and kind of regional, I guess you can say, is why the Packers are better than the Bears. The Bears were the worst team last year.
But the thing is, you're talking about as if this was the Packers 2 years ago. The Packers
I know.
The Packers last year with Aaron Rodgers were a dumpster fire with the better quarterback. So you're telling
me
they
were still a game away from making the playoffs, though.
Yeah, but in a weak division and conference, the NFC is nothing compared to the AFC. So think about this: you literally downgraded position because it doesn't matter who's behind Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is still an upgrade anywhere you put him. Right? You downgrade in that position, and you expect them to still be better than the teams that got better. And I don't see it. I just don't see it. I don't. I get what you're saying. You still have maybe the team around them is still the same, but the team around them last year weren't that good.
It's still fuck the Packers. Jordan Love's going to be the weakest quarterback in the division.
Facts, John. Say it out.
Say with your chest, bro. Say with your chest.
Yeah,
come on, man. I told y'all, Jordan Love is going to be the weakest quarterback in the division. So that's fine. If they want to give us free money on the Vegas sports books, I'll take it, man. Y'all better book it already. They got the Bears only at -2.5 week one.
I feel like Bobby. I feel like the Lions have a better 1-2 punch in the running back division. If I'm being honest,
100%.
When you have David Montgomery,
Jonathan Swift,
and Jonathan Swift
not there anymore. What's the other dude's name?
It's Jahmyr Gibbs.
There you go.
The rookie.
Gibbs or Gibbs?
Gibbs.
You got the rookie there. You got David Montgomery. I feel like you have someone else too.
I've been seeing that Montgomery's the backup. You know, they just signed him.
Which is crazy because Montgomery was that guy.
Absolutely.
He said the defense is actually getting high praise. The defense did have, defense was pretty good last year. I'll give them that.
Defense was good. Top 10 defense. I'm telling you, when everybody's healthy, that defense is top 10.
It's a good point. It's a good point, Bobby. We appreciate you watching the show for sure. It's a good point, though.
That's a good coach right there. That's what the Sox did to get.
Bobby.
He used to coach the Cardinals and Eastside. Bobby thought that he was dog.
Bobby, we got a petition for you to coach the White Sox. We need that presence, man.
Keep your sanity, bro. You don't need that. You're good where you're at, homie. Don't even think about it. Don't fall for that trap, bro. You good, Bobby. You good.
Let me email Jerry. Hey,
we all need a little toxicity in our lives. Why not?
Speak for yourself.
Get your fill.
I do need a little toxicity in my life.
Speak for yourself.
John, you
guys are idiots.
You get plenty of that, John. Don't worry. Just being friends with us. You know what I mean?
So, Sox are a dumpster fire, right?
Yeah.
Sox are finally gonna hopefully clear out the fire and the smoke. Correct, right?
They gotta get rid of Pedro.
They got to get rid of Pedro. I guess. Although I don't think it's
entirely
his fault, but
you don't agree that he needs to go?
Yeah, he got to go.
Come on, Eric. As a player, you don't want that coach coming back next year to coach you.
From a guy who watches the beautiful game of soccer and the beautiful game played around the world,
here we go.
We do see a lot of managers that are literally one and done.
And here,
so I get that aspect.
It should be done here. It should be done in all sports.
I agree because imagine Eric. Imagine you do bring in a prospect or somebody from another team. They are now subject to that locker room, to that toxicity, to all the negativity. It's like that. It's a really toxic and bad environment.
Yeah, but again, that's what Pedro Gafal walked into though this year. Though, like, remember how it ended last year?
Yeah,
but the same group of
players.
Okay,
hold on.
He had a coach.
Let me give him this reference, Eric. But you've been a GM, just like me. You ran a store before. So if you go into a store that's been known to be toxic, you're gonna just go in there and because you inherited it, you're gonna allow it to happen? No, you're gonna go in. You're gonna step your foot down. You're gonna be, hey, this shit's gonna change. Either the environment's gonna change or y'all gonna change, regardless of the fact I'm gonna do my job, right? That's 100%. Just how you has to be.
100%, and that's why if the players
get left behind.
That's why if the players don't respond, then you just replace them with new employees. You replace those players. That's why you got to give them an opportunity to do so.
The thing is, Pedro Gafal had that opportunity. But Pedro Gafal had opportunity to at the very least, get this locker room up to shape.
Absolutely.
Okay,
and he couldn't do it.
Right,
Okay,
and maybe because the players.
What's
And
Patriots
then
excuse
you gotta-
this year for not getting on the players?
Exactly.
How are you allowing rookies to fall asleep?
Right.
How are you allowing guys to show up late to meetings?
Exactly.
What are you doing? Because you can't say, oh, well, Kenny and Rick Hans said it's cool. Like, no, bro, because if they get fired, they're looking at you. And that's what we're doing now. We're looking at you. Like, what did you do?
But like you guys said earlier, one trade, they both do whatever they want. One decides to keep one player, and then the other trades that same player that they want to keep. So if it's disgruntled from up top, then the players are going to notice that. They're not going to listen to the coach because they're going to think the same way too as well. So at the end of the day,
But
the
we
coach
didn't
is
hear this.
in
But hold on,
between.
but we
Just
didn't
like
hear
how
this.
Rashawn was in between.
But wait, but Eric, we didn't hear this with Tony La Russa. We didn't hear this with Rick Renteria. Because those guys at least had a presence in that locker room. They at least had presence.
Ricky Renteria, I feel like Ricky Renteria looks like motherfucking Joe Madden at this moment. With
I'm just saying though,
because how he had that locker room,
but you still had the same front office Pedro Grifol had. But you still had the same front office Pedro Grifol had.
But how should I say
no,
this?
It's been the same, bro. You still have the same management.
Here's the thing. Okay, let's play the devil's advocate. There's no way you bring in a new GM, get rid of players, and keep Pedro with a new set of players.
Right. That's
not going to work. That's not going to work.
At least at that point, he'll have more authority to those players than the ones that have already been here that he has no authority with.
Exactly. What are you talking about, man?
But I get it though. Like I can make an argument for both. But yeah, one and done looks like it's going to be Pedro Grifol though. Like I could legit make the argument for Pedro to stick around for one more year.
Everything Bobby's saying is facts. He talked all this stuff. I mean, he did, and it's like he did it like in a professional way. Like it ain't like some Ozzie Guillen type, like, no, man, I'm gonna do this, and this. And he's like, no, like, he came in speaking like a guy that loves the sport of baseball. So, we backed up Pedro. I remember Jack was on this show before back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, all right, let's give him a shot. And it's like, here, like,
you know who he reminds me of?
Everybody's walking all over you.
You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of Mark Trestman, someone who knows the game, who loves the game, who could really talk your ass off. Like he sounds professional. But it's just there's no leadership in the locker room. Right. Same as Mark Trestman.
You weren't going to fire the GM, give Trestman a new quarterback, but keep Trestman. You weren't going to do that.
Right. You weren't going to do that. It goes the same way.
That's funny.
Well, guys, that's it for me. I don't know if you guys are going to stay on, I'm
out too. I got to do some things too as well.
Make some spaghetti.
Yeah, I got to eat some spaghetti because I got to go to sleep. I got to work in the morning. But one thing I got to say though, I'm glad it's happening on the south side and not on the north side. I'm happy that my team's in the playoffs.
Hold on, Eric.
I'm okay with that.
Eric, hold on, Eric.
Below
knock on wood, Eric.
Chicago.
But knock on wood, man, because karma be karmian sometimes.
I know, but at least it's been done before on the north side and not on the south side. But again, what I got to say about this though is the one thing I do got to say though that this pitching staff, man, is really scaring me, bro. Like I don't think if this pitching rotation, this pitching staff stays through, man, the Cubs in the playoffs.
You mean how inconsistent they've been, and because they're not going to make the playoffs because of
very inconsistent. But with an opportunistic ass offense that they got, it's anything's possible. But I'm just not that confident.
We'll definitely talk more Cubs along the way. The Jca Sports Podcast is back. We will be back next week.
100%.
And there's plenty to talk about. Football's right around the corner. Cubs might be in the playoffs. Obviously, the White Sox, there's going to be more news coming in and out, so we're definitely going to be here covering it all on Jca Sports Podcast, brought to you by Star 6 Media. For Eric Avila, Jonathan Pelayo, guys, I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for everybody who's hopped in the comments. We will be back again next week, guys, so make sure you're here, same time, same place, or it might vary depending on our schedules. But regardless of the fact, we're here, we're back, and we will see you guys next week.
Lonzo Ball could get off a chair in one leg, guys. Woo!
Exactly. We forgot to talk about that, but we'll talk about it next time. All right, guys, we'll see you next time.
What a finish! Wow, that is unfreaking believable. What a way for a ball game to end.
Oh, that's what happened. Oh, that's terrible. My God. The humanity.
They may be the drunkest couple in the history of sporting events.
I loved his face.
I would suspect that fan is done for the night. Here's the thing. When you steal something, don't wear it.